I am so excited to have Melissa Radke on today's show on Reading with Robin. Eat Cake, Be Brave is her brand new book. It's out just a couple of weeks. I saw Melissa on Megyn Kelly, and I quickly emailed somebody I knew at the publisher. I was like, I must speak to Melissa. She is Texas born and bred and spent 15 years of her life, all right, when you went to Nashville, where you're going to be signing books tomorrow, right?
That's
tomorrow?
Right, yes.
That's tomorrow? The return to Nashville.
I know.
Isn't that, that's going to be real, and you're going to Parnassus, which is one of my favorite bookstores, and so that is awesome. Melissa's Upside Down French Braid, which I watched because I was like, what is this? Video has close to 10 million views, and her Red Ribbon video has been viewed over 100 million times. It's amazing, right, when you put something out there, and like these numbers are crazy. They're just, right? Just
you have to think to yourself, do people not have anything else going on? They would just go and watch these. And then I think to myself, but what about me? I'm the one making the video, so I clearly have nothing going on.
Well, but you're spreading so much, I don't know, love and positivity and joy, and, we go down the rabbit hole. I am one of those people where I'm like doing a million things, but I stop to check something out for research or for the show, and then it could be an hour later, but you learn so much, so many interesting things, and you have conversation for whomever you might bump into. Wait, so now I'm totally lost on your bio. Has always been destined for the stage, so for the last several years she has traveled all over the U.S. bringing laughter and encouragement to organizations, hospitals, schools. Out with this book, which is just the best way to get to so many people. Eat Cake, Be Brave, and it is just a thrill to have you on Reading with Robin. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you, Robin. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I just had to say something about those silly videos.
Oh, no, it's fine. You know what? The whole show is an interruption, and that's the way I like it. It's just, two old friends that just met chatting, and I just think that I had to watch. I was like, what is this? And I wish I could do that. So is that the way, is that something people do, upside down French braids, or I didn't know that even was a thing?
Yeah, well, who knew, right? But I love, I go on YouTube all the time, and I'm always watching makeup tutorials and hair tutorials. I think in my past life I must have been a beautician or wanted to be. And I realize it's also called hairstylist, but I'm from the South, and we still call it a beautician. But anyway, I'm always watching those videos, and I see these women do these extravagant things to their head, and I'm like, okay, first of all, not only do I not have the, the talent or the finger ability to do all these things, these braids, I don't got the upper body strength for sure.
Well, you figured it out, though. People should go to YouTube. You got to watch this. It's very fun.
Yeah. So I just decided to make a video like they did, but what happens when the average woman tries to do an upside-down French braid?
Wow. You learn something new every day. I was like, I didn't even know if this was a thing, or
it's a thing, man. It's a thing, Robin.
Wow, it is a thing. And all right, so talking about things, so this cake that's on this blue, amazing cake that is on your gorgeous cover with,
yes.
It's just, if this book doesn't jump out, off a shelf and into your hands, I don't know what book will.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So how did you pick the right cake, or the colors, or the whole filming? I was reading in the book. Just the whole art direction and figuring out what this cover was going to look like, because it's really important. So I got to hear about when you cut into this cake. Is it blue inside, or?
Yeah, everybody has asked me if that cake is real, and I'm like, that cake is so real that the bakery in my hometown, that I love them, they made it for me. They know exactly what I like. So they're like, okay, we're going to make Melissa a vanilla cake for her book cover on the out, and then the frosting has to be buttercream. They wanted to make it like this fancy fondant, and I'm like, no,
when
cake. This is over, I'm taking this bad boy home and eating it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
so awesome.
Oh, wait, so it's vanilla inside. Okay. I didn't know if it was why
vanilla.
I had to know. I just had to know what this was.
Yeah, it's just good old vanilla.
No, it's the best. Yeah. I like white. I like white cake.
Yeah, I told them, I go, guys, honestly, I don't know if we're going to end up going with the blue one or or a different color. And they're like, well, should we also make chocolate? I'm like, maybe you should. Yeah. We were never going to go with chocolate.
Of course. Yeah. Knock yourself out. Let's see what else would we maybe put on the side and might get on the cover. Absolutely. Yeah. You got to always have extra. So this whole, the book, the whole Be Brave starts, and you have to read this book. People should visit your website. It's melissaradke.com. Find her on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and talk about, all right, your 40th birthday, and then you talk about your 41st and this wish to be brave. So just people have to get the book and read it, but we're just going to talk a little bit about, what, before the cake, before there was cake.
Yeah. I think that, I do wish people would get it and read it because, hey, everybody's got an exciting story about their 40th birthday. At least most people do.
Oh, yeah.
One of my girlfriends just had her 40th and went to Hawaii. Her husband took her to Hawaii for her 40th birthday. I mean, it's like kind of like a rite of passage. We have our Sweet 16, and then the next big thing we have is 40. It's kind of depressing, but when you think about it. But it's always like I know my 40th was so exciting. Like my friends, they gave me a flash mob birthday party.
So cool.
Okay, so. Yes, they all just started showing up and setting up a party around me. It was so cool.
Wow.
But at 41, nobody expects a book to be written about the year we turned 41 because what in the world exciting happens when we turn 41? Nothing.
Right.
But really my entire life changed that year. It did not change with a traumatic event. It did not change with, a car accident or some kind of epiphany or I saw a bright light. It changed because I decided that I could not live the last half of my life the way I had spent the first half. And I just changed it within myself. Everybody has asked me this question. They go, but what caused you to make this wish? But what? But there was no but what.
Sure.
I didn't read a book on bravery. I didn't see some cat poster like, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on.
I know that poster.
Yeah. There was no inspirational anything in my head. It was just a middle-aged woman who just wanted to live fully. And so it's what happened the night I turned 41. But you got to buy the book to understand it.
You got to buy the book. You got to buy the book. And this is the kind of book that Melissa and I were talking off air before that I love to discuss. It is get this book for your book clubs, discuss this with your girlfriends, have your own. I know, like you say, like nothing big happened. There was no catalyst, nothing like that. But was it something that's simmering in your mind? I know for myself, there's always that, thing that I want to do or a different way to live or, you wake up and does it have to be a Monday? Is it today's August 1st? That's a good day. You pick these days. So it's like brewing and then it's your birthday. You're making a wish. It's somewhere in your mind of something, of the way you want to live. Sure.
Come on. We all know, anybody listening to this, that feeling when you are saying to yourself, there has to be more to this life. There has to be more. And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, if we're going to start a diet, we have to start on Monday. Like, let's get through the weekend and then we start on Monday. And I guess probably that was my thinking is it was in that moment when everything seemed to freeze around me. It was a moment when my kids were yelling at me to blow out the candles and make a wish. And I felt like literally I was floating above my body. The best way I can describe it. I saw that moment, but it just, for a moment it just have happened in a second, yet it froze for me. And I thought, this is it. This is my start a diet on Monday moment. This is my new year, new me moment. This is it. I'm going to make a wish to be brave. And I had felt, you're so right, I had felt it simmering under the surface for a long time. I knew that there was more. I'm a person of faith, and I write about my faith in the book. It's not an entire book on faith by any means, and it's not too preachy. But let me just say that as far as faith goes, I knew in my heart that this was not living. That that I was supposed to live fully and abundantly. And so in that moment, hey, I just did it.
It's something that when people are reading this in the book, yes, your faith, your heart, your humor, it's all tied up into this delicious read. And I think that there are so many things to connect to where, somebody might, if their book looks anything like mine does, with passages that I enjoy or things that I will dog ear, because I move into a book. I do not treat them as precious objects. They are, but I move in, and a book that's been read knows it. A book's been read by me. It knows
that phrase. I love that phrase. I move into a book. I love that.
I'm glad you like that. You know what? As I said it, I was thinking I kind of like to do.
Yeah, Robin. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to give you no credit for it.
I love that. So we already have our own little hashtag "Move into a Book with Melissa" moment, and that's the thing. Like it doesn't. No, it's absolutely not preachy and any of that. There's so many things that I connect to on that level where I know that this is the kind of book women want to. It's validating. It's like, because we live in this very digital world. Everything is out there and things are out there that we want to put out there. It's never obviously the full story. So when people are real with you, that's the connection, and then there's the laughter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I thought too, as I was writing this book, there were several times, honestly, that I would just put my computer down and I would walk away and I would think, why am I doing this? Because there is no, like you used the word catalyst. There was no catalyst for change. There was no epiphany or tragedy or whatever. And so I would go, I can't write this. It's too mundane. It's too normal. And yet what I'm finding on this book tour is women coming up to me and saying, you sound like me. Like you look like me. You wear the same size as me, or you fix your hair like me, or you parent your kids like me. And you were nobody special when you decided to change your life. And the very thing that kept me from writing some days is the very thing that appeals to them the most. Isn't that amazing?
It is absolutely extraordinary, fascinating. The thing to be out there and to have this book deal and then to be writing it out, that is really what people, to say, in all the best possible way of saying you're nobody special, because surely we all are, but, I know what you mean. Like, you're just like me, nobody special, like how sad. We're all just so of course, no, I do, and that's the thing that's the level at that connection, and so it is such a. I can only imagine what you hear and what people want to share and give somebody else the hope of whatever it is that they want to do it in whichever way. Meanwhile, I know you won't sing for me, but like reading about, you're moving to Nashville and hearing whatever people would say about what they expected up on the stage, and I was like, I just want to hear Melissa sing. But did I not find anything online, or?
You know what? You probably didn't. You have to think, I lived in Nashville at a time when not everybody was videoing themselves with their phones, okay?
Yeah.
So this is, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And so there is not a lot. In fact, we are doing, my family and I are doing an upcoming unscripted sitcom for USA Network.
I was going to congratulate you. That's on my list, Melissa. I'm so excited for you.
And I'm not trying to take your notes away. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing. But even they were like, we want to put in some clips of you singing, and and if USA Network can't track it down, you and I can't track it down.
And I'm pretty tenacious. We only know each other 20 minutes, but I'll tell you, I'm like, and that's why I found so much other great stuff, and that I was able to find. But no, all right, well, I do feel better now. I'm like, it's just when you read about somebody or you're reading the story or their own words, and I'm just imagining you going to Nashville and chasing that dream, and I'm like, all right, well, I got to imagine that she's got the best voice ever, and I have to hear this.
Let me say for the record, and I, like, if my husband could hear me say this, his jaw would drop, because I do not talk like this very often, but let me just say this. Sure. At my book signings, I always have a Q&A time, and at every single one, a person has asked me to sing. Would you just sing for us? And I've just decided that, look, they can't find it online. I want to at least tell people that I can sing, so I sing for them, and they all go, oh, my God, you really can sing. Robin, I really can sing. I really can. That's why the whole Nashville thing was so.
I'm sure you totally can sing. I'm like, why wasn't she on The Voice?
Yes, it was so painful for me in Nashville because I knew that I had what it took. I knew that I had the chops, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't just say that very often, but I really did. And so to never have been given a chance because I didn't look like they wanted me to look was just such a painful thing. But it literally shut my life down. It shut me down. Yeah. I couldn't continue to function in a healthy way at all because I was so labeled, I guess you could say, with their rejection.
And that's one of them. I mean, there's so many messages. And I'm on the phone with Melissa Radke. Visit her website at melissaradke.com and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those places. And do not miss this book, Eat Cake, Be Brave. Buy copies for your girlfriends and just get a big old cake and stick in the middle of the table. And
you said a minute ago this would be good for book club. Oh,
yes.
I cannot tell you how many girl groups have come to my book signings and said, oh, yeah, we're doing this in our book club. And I thought, this would be a good book club book because it does make you feel like you're just sitting around with your girls, you know.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. A little bit of honesty and a lot of icing can go a long way. And I know with my I have 2 birthday book clubs. I'm not book clubs, 2 birthday clubs, and we've been together for 30 years plus, and there's a whole lot of stories about that. But I will tell you one of the things one of our birthday clubs does, we started years ago, is, and it doesn't matter where we are, we bring a cake and we do forks with it. And and we've been to some really fancy places and they come with the server and dishes and we're like, oh no, thank you. This is like our tradition and we just attack this cake.
That.
Yeah, I'll send you, I have pictures from my 50th. But it doesn't have to be a special birthday. It is just, and then we're always like, no, let's not do it this time. And then we're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. To me, it just needs to be like a Tuesday or 70 degrees outside to have a piece of cake. I mean, come on.
I know, right? You don't want to wait for those, I don't know, those momentous, celebrations or like, no, I really can. And so eat cake, be brave is really a metaphor for doing that thing. And so when you made this decision and it was your 41st birthday, what are some things that you would share with the audience that you, like, that keeps you on that path, that keeps you going? Besides the book deal and the TV show, all that stuff, Melissa.
Yeah. And you have to know that those 2 things that you just mentioned, the book deal and the TV show, they were nowhere in my life. They were nowhere in my path or my dreams. They were beyond my dreams until this 41st birthday happened. They came to be due to this, for lack of a better word, the phrase, this year of yes. And so when I blew out the candles on my 41st birthday, here was the wish. I made a wish to be brave. And what I meant by that was that for the next 12 months of my life, I would say yes to everything that I had never said yes to. Whether it was making dinner for a friend, or writing or writing an article and putting it online, whether it was making a funny video and putting it out on Facebook, or from the simplest, most mundane things that I would never attempt to the largest. I decided to teach and lead a Bible study. I decided to make a big, huge. I've never been a big, great cook. I don't think. I think I'm a good cook, but I would make dinner for people and take it to just these little things.
Just whatever you wanted, yeah.
But one foot in front of the other, one yes in front of the other, one moment of bravery in front of the other led me to believe in myself in a way that I had not in a very long time. It wasn't just a year of yes. It was a year of learning about Melissa and what I could do. And one of the things that I always wanted to do was to put videos on Facebook, and Instagram. That sounds ridiculous and shallow, but I always felt like I had a personality that people would connect with, but I felt too ugly to put my face out there. And so my husband said, yeah, but you're supposed to be being brave, so that's kind of awkward. And I was like, oh, crap. He was holding
well, when you tell someone your wish, they sometimes can hold you to it. That's the other tricky thing, right? Right.
And so I did that, and then one of the one of the first handful of videos I made. Red Ribbon Week was in that. Was one of those first videos, and that's 100 million views today. So the rest is history. But isn't that
amazing? Like just even to stop and think about that, like to put yourself out there and do something that you wanted to do, and this comes really very your personality and eat cake, be brave, and. It's just oozing all over the pages, so that's where people would really feel like they've connected to you and see different things about themselves or be able to laugh at something or really take a moment to soak in a lot of the wisdom that you impart. And so that many people can connect. I mean, that's crazy numbers. So, like, who knows what they have inside of them and how sad if it doesn't ever come out, I mean.
That's right. I say this. If you are about to do something that has your heart racing and your palms sweaty, if your stomach is flipping a little bit, then you are living right. Then you are doing the right thing because that's called living. I mean, that means you're about to enter a moment that is a little bit beyond yourself, that requires a little bit of bravery. And that is living, because the one moment of bravery means there will come another, and there will come another, and there will come another. And I'm telling you, your life will change. And if it doesn't change the world, but it changes your world, then that's enough. I didn't set out on this journey to have a show on USA Network. I set out on this journey to love myself more. And what I found in the process was that people needed my story. Everybody has a story, and the world needs to hear it. That's the truth.
That's absolutely true, and people don't even think sometimes that there is a story. They have a story, but once you get people talking, and certainly when they come to a book signing or they're sending you messages and you're hearing their stories, it is just people want to be heard also. And so there is really something to that of really thinking about what your story is, or as you're telling it to someone and you can see they're like, wow, I've never heard something like that, or, and they don't even think. I love just talking to people wherever I sort of am. It's amazing what they'll share, and it's like, that's fascinating. And they're like, oh, I didn't even really. Well, I'm like, no, but did you really? You just said that's so cool.
And you're doing a disservice to the world when we don't think that they need our story. The world really does. And so I love the fact that your job, Robin, is to get these stories out of people, and I just absolutely love that. I'm kind of jealous of your job, actually.
Thank you. Well, my story started out many years ago calling into a talk radio show. That's how my story started. But I'll tell you that another time, Melissa, because I must meet you at some point. I love the blurbs on your book.
The back, on the back, yeah.
Hilarious. A pure delight, a woman I sat beside on a plane once.
Yeah, you probably know this when you write a book, say your publisher wants you to have these really fancy blurbs. They want you to, they want Gillian Flynn to say, the most razor-edged read I've read all summer. Look, I'm like, what do you do if you don't know no famous people?
I love that, Melissa. So you made
your granny to say something. You get your granny and your pastor and your mother.
I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I know talent, a lady who saw Oprah in a parking garage. Melissa, a Starbucks barista. I'm not reading the rest because you must get your own copy of Eat Cake, Be Brave, and follow Melissa on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. What's your favorite? You're very busy. I mean, how do you break down your time and manage all of this on top of everything else?
I 100% do not break down my time and manage any of it. I couldn't find my pants on a daily basis if it were not for my husband. My husband has been an entertainment attorney for years, and now he advantages me. And he is the yin to my yang. He is no fun at all. He's all business.
The Attorney General. I read all about him. I love that. That's fun.
And so the fact that I even called, or that we talked to each other today and on time, and I'm dressed while talking to you, is all due to him.
Is that the best? I mean, that's the thing. We all shine in different ways, and that's his. I mean, because there is a lot to manage. But if you were hanging out on one of those platforms the most, which is your favorite? To be on, or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or.
Well, I need to get better on Twitter. It's not that, and Lord knows I can't work Snapchat. I'm way too old for that. So I'm going to say Facebook and Instagram. They're neck and neck for me. In fact, I post sometimes similar stuff. I guess Instagram I like a little better because I can get away with more pictures of my kids. But they're neck and neck for me for sure.
Yeah, so people can follow you on all those places and come see you at your book signings. I'm very excited. So when will we be able to see the show on USA Network? How is that?
We are shooting for November, for it to come out in November. But, you know, people always go, well, when will we know? And I'm like, if you follow me on social media, you know I'm going to be so obnoxious about this. You're going to know.
Yeah, we will find out. We will absolutely. And I will be sharing it on the Reading with Robin Facebook page and all over. And so it will get out there. Yeah, there's no fear that it will not be out. And will the blue cake make another appearance in some way? Is it possible?
Well, God, as long as I'm alive and breathing, a blue cake is going to make an appearance somewhere. Robin, I have absolutely loved meeting you and talking to you. This has probably been one of my favorite interviews, so thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I would normally say to you, and what have you been reading this summer, Melissa? But I don't know when you would manage to get any reading time in. But is there a favorite book you'd like to share with my audience before I let you go?
The book that I'm reading right now is called Everybody Always by Bob Goff, and it's how to love difficult people, but it's really so much more than that, and it is turning my world upside down. I come in contact with a lot of different people right now in this stage of my life, and this is how to love all of them and make sure everyone knows they're accepted and welcome at the table. I absolutely love Everybody Always by Bob Goff, but if you want to know what I'm reading the most, it's Boarding Passes to get on my next flight.
I love that, and that's just really encompasses really your whole message and what you're sharing with your readers, your viewers. And this was just such a treat, and I wish you all the best and look forward to meeting you and sharing a piece of that cake.
Okay, Robin, it's a date.